You're tired of working day in and day out, trying to find new boomer customers, chasing leads, doing whatever work comes your way, and never getting to earn what you're worth. You do it because you love the work and you're passionate about serving the boomers. We get it. What you need is more of the right boomer customers for your business and more income for you and your family so you can grow your company and help more people in your community. Well, you're in the right place because this is Booming Your Bottom Line.
Hi, and welcome to episode 48 of Booming Your Bottom Line and another episode of Owners Chat. Today's guest, Greg McDermott, is a speaker, author, senior housing consultant, radio talk show host, and an evangelist for home equity conversion mortgage programs. For over 9 years, Greg's helped hundreds of older consumers live a more comfortable retirement by leveraging the power of their home's equity. Hey, Greg, thanks for being here today. I'm not done with your bio, but I just wanted to say good morning.
Well, I wrote it so it would take about a half an hour if you didn't read it all. So,
Yeah, perfect.
we don't need that much.
Greg works almost exclusively on a unique governmental regulated and insured program that allows seniors to use the equity from their home to enjoy a more financial stable retirement. He uses financial vehicles to help older people stay home and age in place. So today from his office in Downington, PA, he leads the HECM Team, a team of very experienced, caring loan officers that are dedicated to helping the homeowners over 62 looking to improve their monthly cash flow and live in a more comfortable retirement. Greg, again, thanks so much for being here today and welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me. It's look forward to the session.
All right. Well, Greg, it is good to see you again. What we'd like to do for our listeners is to have you tell us your story, the story of your business. And we want you to share some insights and background so other small business owners across the U.S. that are serving the boomers can be inspired, learn from you as we chat here today, and so they can be encouraged in the pursuit of that small business dream to help boomers and their families in the years ahead. So if you're ready, we're going to dive right into our first question.
Absolutely.
All right, so why don't you describe your small business for folks here today? What's your main service or product?
Well, it's almost exactly like the bio entry is. All I do is all I offer are reverse mortgages or home equity conversion mortgage for seniors. What makes it unique, though, is I don't try to sell them. Mm-hmm. I teach my team to when we're called in, and most of our business is by referral. So when we're referred a potential client, we meet with that client, hopefully their family, and we work through all the options. I actually use EEOC as an acronym. I'm a simple guy. So we start with education and what it actually is. And we talk about our experience because obviously we're an experienced team. Then we look at the options. We want to make sure that the clients we work with not only just look at what we're selling, if you will, or offering, but look at all the options because what I might offer might not be the right program for them to do. So we look at all the options, whether they stay or whether they go. And then at that point in time, we kind of end with compassion because typically folks are looking at this thing, HECM or a reverse mortgage, because there's some kind of a need in their life. We try to make sure we're sympathetic and find out what other resources we might be able to bring to bear to help them.
Yeah. Very smart. Well, and I love the EOC. It's what we preach here as well, and different languaging, but two of the three pieces of that acronym are spot on, and so I appreciate you using that. And again, that's why you came to mind to be with us on the show. So thank you for that. Now,
thank you.
Where did the idea come from? I mean, for you as a small business owner, what inspired you to get from wherever you were to where you are today, and how long have you been in business on your own as an entrepreneur, Greg?
Well, it's kind of funny you asked that. At 50, I'm a little older than that now, but at 50, I went through a divorce. And within a month after that, I was let go because of the relationship. The marriage was going bad, and I just didn't do my job as a salesman. I was at UPS as a national account manager. And so I didn't know what I was going to do. And my my nephew was in Michigan working for Wells Fargo, and I had a conversation. He and I were close, and the conversation, he said, "You ought to check this out, Greg. Uncle Greg, I think this would be a great thing for you to do." Wells Fargo was trying to hire people, and so I started out as a loan officer with them. And it was not an entrepreneurial thing at the beginning, although working for a company, but although it became similar to that, because they didn't give you any support. They just said, "Here's your license, go out and do it," and you had to build it on your own. It was like working for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But it turned into a 10-plus year now. It was in June of 2005, and it's been like a roller coaster ride. There have been some great times and some tough times. But I think that's part of the entrepreneurial endeavor we go through.
I would agree, and that is spot on. It is just like that. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what makes you unique? What's your unique sales position, and how are you different compared to your competitors?
Well, most of the people in my business, the HECM business, are at mega call centers.
Mm-hmm.
So they're looking through databases of folks that may be in trouble or have issues or that have raised their hand because they see one of the aging actors on TV hawking the program.
Mm-hmm.
And which is nice. I'm glad those guys are there. But they're selling it. The uniqueness I offer is by referral only, and the people I educate my referral partners so they know how I work. They know I'm not going to go out and just because somebody's asking to do the program, if it's not the right fit for them, we don't sell it. We go out and try to help them find a solution to their problem. If the right solution is the HECM program, we're honored to help them. But if it's not, we try to get them to sometimes we'll put them in with shared housing. We might put them into, it might be time to sell, and we help convince them to contact a realtor that we can refer to them or the one they know and sell the house and downsize. It's got to be whatever's right. So another acrostic I use is ghost busting. A lot of people think reverse mortgage is scary, so I teach my team, you go out, you focus on their goals. And a lot of our stuff is kitchen table. Mm-hmm. So you go into their home, you say, "Why do you invite me to your home?" They usually say, "Well, I want to know about this reverse mortgage thing." Okay, well, what do you hope to accomplish with that? Right. And then so goals, what do you hope to accomplish? What options have you looked at? Then, and only then, we talk about our solution to see if it's a right fit for them. And then we talk about their timetable.
Wow.
What they're gonna do.
Well, before Aaron gets to the next question, I want to pull out something from what you just said there. You said that you talk to your partners, your referral partners, which I'm assuming means that you've spent some time building a referral network.
Absolutely. I started out when I was at Wells Fargo. I built a base of bankers and financial planners and a couple attorneys. I've now added a number of more attorneys. And in the last couple of years, since most people don't know you can buy a home with a HECM program, I actually teach real estate classes at the real estate school, so I do continuing education classes there. And my primary focus has shifted from financial guys and bankers to realtors and SRES folks.
Okay, so then you're not only out there educating people in compatible industries like the realtors, right? You're also doing to help the people get the footwork done before they even get to you because you've built this network. And dare I say, you've probably experienced, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, maybe I should phrase this as a question. How has that been for you monetarily in your business, having that referral network?
It's been great because it's if I educate a buyer or a borrower rather, I educate, maybe get a referral or two from that client. Mm-hmm. But if I educate a professional, who has a whole bunch of clients, then it's a repeating self-sustaining business model.
Oh,
so when I first started back in 2005, I bought about 20 leads, and I likened it then when I started becoming a manager and hiring my own folks. I said, this is like crack cocaine.
Yeah.
If you buy leads, you're going to have to continue to buy leads, and you're hooked. You got to build a self-sustaining business model by referral so that those people know you, like you, and trust you, which is that's stolen information. But I added actually the I in there, and I call it kilt. You got to wear a kilt. They got to know you, they got to be like you and trust you, but you got to be willing to insert the I, which is the introduction. They've got to be willing to introduce you to their clients.
Mm-hmm.
That trust factor is so strong.
Right. Wow. Mark, any of this ringing a bell?
Yeah.
I made a joke when we had Jill on Owners Chat. I said, well, we know who our next Booming Your Bottom Line coach is, and I think you just made the list. You are preaching exactly what we speak. I mean, we have a whole entire module, of our training about speaking your way to local expertise, and we talk about the leverage of train the trainer, right? Getting in a room B2B, teaching professionals that then become that referral network. So beautiful explanation. It's fabulous to hear from somebody else besides us. So that's awesome. Now, you talked about, reaching professionals, obviously, through education and cross-industry networking when there are parallels and crossover. What else are you doing, just speaking to the people that listen to our show, who are small business owners, what are you doing to reach boomer consumers in a way maybe others aren't, that allow you to connect and engage with them, a piece of the puzzle maybe someone else is missing?
Well, one of the things I've done that has been kind of unique, I used to hold seminars, and it would cost me money to feed people and try to educate that way. So I've gone from that model to teaching classes at night school. Now I used to, at first they offer to pay, and I turned it down. Now what I do is just turn that into a donation. So I take whatever money I donate back to that school, just so I don't get paid for the actual class. And then I'm in the process of writing several books that I think will be very helpful for those folks trying to decide whether they want to age in place or downsize.
Oh, good for you.
Very, very good. So I tell you what, we're going to shift gears here a little bit, and I would like to hear a story, a success story. Somebody that what you've done has helped, help something amazing happen in their lives, or them to be able to do something they wanted to. I mean, you can leave out real names, obviously, but tell us a story about a success with one of your clients.
Well, most of the folks think about folks that are using the program as a last resort. So I'm going to talk about the other end of the spectrum. I'm going to talk about the first time I was introduced to someone who was what I would call highly affluent or mass affluent.
Mm-hmm.
And I got an email on I hit on my website, somebody wanting to talk to me about reverse. And so I called the guy back and found out that he had sold multiple franchises. He was in his 70s, kind of lost his wife and kind of cashed out. But he was wanting to do a reverse mortgage on his $1 million home. And I'm like, trying to talk him out of it, trying to understand what he was doing. He said, no, my CPA told me I need to do this. And my elder attorney said this is exactly what I need to do. So I stopped saying no and started listening and trying to learn. And the end result was he was now getting into real estate development. And all of the money he had, which was quite substantial, was protected for his heirs, already in bypass trusts and things I didn't understand.
Mm-hmm.
And the only leverageable asset he had was that $1 million home. So we gave him the money that he used to continue and finish his development. And it would have never been a market that I would have gone after.
Uh-huh.
But because educating professionals like the CPA and some other people about different ways, it turned out that, you know, they get more creative sometimes than I am, and you know, they're the money guys and they know how to do it. I just have the compassion and the tool. So
Awesome.
it was a great story. The guy, he still calls me every once in a while and thanks me. So, you know, it's not great.
Well, that feels good, right? I mean, that's why we're in this, is we actually, you know, we all have a passion, and a lot of this, you know, industry has evolved out of
Excuse me.
a caring and a need and filling a niche that was missing. But I think it's great for you to point out and kind of prove that a reverse mortgage is not just for somebody's last straw. That's the stigma, right? And then it's going to hurt someone else down the line, the kids, whatever, you know, you're spending away what you, anyway, it doesn't, the idea of using your home as an ATM, which hopefully we all learned in 2008, 2009 is not right. Back then with HELOCs, home equity lines of credit, but smart of you to point out that story. I think it's beautiful to say, hey, even guys that really know how to leverage money see the value in this, just to point out that it's everybody that could see and use the product. So, boy, I'm really glad we brought you on the show today, and cheers to you for all that you've done. You know, we've all been through the ringer, you know, personal and otherwise, in the last 10 years. And I think those of us that stuck this out or saw an opportunity when others were, you know, sticking quarters under their mattress are better off today. And when you've got a reason to do it that is around passion and serving people, then all the better. And I think that's kind of how we all found each other here, the people that we have on the show. So congrats on your small business and your local community, Greg. And I just want to ask, you know, what's next? What do you do to, you know, stay fresh and new, or what's coming on the market in your industry that we should know about? And remember, remodelers and interior designers and a lot of these folks, you know, don't necessarily understand the finance side of what their clients are going through. So tell us what's out there.
Well, there's two sides of the equation. I think, you know, first, most people statistically, most seniors or boomers want to age in place. So the aging in place piece, folks need to know what they can do, what their options are to finance the modifications that are required to age in place. And I really, when I do a session with a client or educational session with the realtors, or I go through all the things that they need to do physically, financially, and emotional considerations. So they're, you know, if they're going to age in place, often it may not make sense for them to do that, but they don't want to admit it. Mm-hmm. So I give them the options on how to sell. And I talk about the tripping point in the book and in all my sessions, because if you've got an elderly parent and they want to age in place, that's great if you know that. But if they're going along and that you don't know what their wishes are, and all of a sudden something happens to them, right, you are put in an awkward position as a child to decide what you do for them. So when I consult with the families or the seniors, and I say, you know, if you're not ready to move, decide what you want to have happen in the next phase, because you may not be the one making the decision. So if it's a physical or mental tripping, put it in writing and start exploring what you want that next phase to be. Now, it's uncomfortable as hell. Oh, yeah. But the kids aren't. If the kids bring that up, there's pushback. Yeah. If I bring it up as a professional, it makes a whole difference. So aging in place, I try to help them with that. And I also try to help them with looking at the other options if they're going to sell and downsize or right size.
Yeah. Mark, can I just one more thing?
Sure.
You know, you mentioned that, and it's totally true. We even talk about when you start speaking, drive 50 miles, because being a stranger is what makes you an expert. And then also being third party is what, you know, I've had people who read my book and said, hey, we're flying down from Anchorage to meet our mom in Port Ludlow, and can you meet us there? Because I know she won't hear what I have to say, and it's the same thing you have to say. Can you come say it at her kitchen table? So, again, you're spot on. So, thank you, Mark. Go ahead.
All right. So that's actually really good, Greg. I like the way that you really put it forth that you were helping to promote to those who were thinking about aging in place that idea, but also promoting it in a way that it's giving. You're leading with giving. You're educating, and I think that's I know it's something that we talk about all the time with the people that we work with, the small business owners that we work with. It's just integral to having a company that not only does well and does good work, but also you sleeping at night, because there's no better feeling knowing that you've put forth all that effort to do your best for someone that way. And speaking of doing your best, what are some of the ways that your business, that you participate in your community, giving back?
For a while, I was on the board of directors of the local senior center, but I found that to be not as rewarding as I expected, both emotionally and financially, because I was hoping to have some selfish reasons for that. So I walked away from that. What I'm now hoping to do, I'm being courted by another company that wants me to lend through them. And one of the things, they have a charity of choice, which is the hospice. And I've had a lot of my clients pass and use the hospice service, and family as well. So it's near and dear to my heart. So my intention is to start doing some more seminars again. I've got some co-op now that I think I'm going to be able to leverage some co-op dollars, but I'm going to actually charge a fee for people to come and have that money go to that nonprofit. So I'm going to try to actually build a way to educate and serve at the same time.
Wow, that's great.
Perfect. Yeah, and it sounded like you were doing that previously. I caught it when you were talking earlier that somebody was trying to pay you to speak, and you said, yeah, well, I'll take the money and give it to the school. So brilliant. And the other thing from you point out, there may also be ulterior motive as for your business, right? And you're honest to say that, and I totally agree. What I think is smart, though, is that boomers as a demographic are finding that in that second half of life, they like to align with people who share their values and their ethics and their morals. And so by showing that face of your company, you are becoming approachable and connectable, and you know what I mean? So, yeah, so whether you see it or not on paper in the next 7 days, just know you're doing the right thing from a branding perspective for the clientele you're serving. So, nice job.
Something came up, and I just want to see if I can throw this one thing in, because I'm thinking about, kind of what you do, Aaron, with helping with the rehabs. I've had a number of times, and I think it's important for the consumers to understand this piece of the financing with the HECM. There are some lenders out there that don't want to bother with somebody that just needs a little bit of money out of the program up front, because the brokers in the industry get paid based on the initial loan amount. And I've had actually a couple clients I'm working with right now personally that when they called the hot number, the 800 number from the phone, they said, well, you have to have a minimum $100,000 beginning loan balance. And the people were looking for like $15,000 to do a little bit of modification to their home, and then a little bit of monthly income or supplemental cash flow from the program. So it's important to shop and make sure you know what you're doing, and somebody's got the client's interest in heart and not their pocketbook. Because if they're trying to get a bigger check out of them, a lot of these people are pliable if they only talk to one company, and it's sad actually. It gives my industry a bad name.
Well, and there's plenty of people out there doing the wrong thing, which is trying to take advantage of folks in the second half. And I bought a house from a guy that bought two $3,500 vacuum cleaners from the door-to-door salesman before he ended up not at home. And his daughter was telling me that story. So good for you for standing your ground morally and also for educating people just about all the different ways. You've kind of hit both ends of the spectrum in regard to reverse. So let's end this with one nugget, one aha moment that somebody could take away that they don't need to reinvent the wheel. Something you've gotten over your career that you feel like everybody should know. It's starting a business or wanting to grow a business right now around this industry.
I'll actually do two quickies because it's first is patience. It takes much longer than you think it is to build, especially if you do it by referral. Building trust with professionals. You're asking them to give their keys to their home to you in regard. It's like trusting them with their children because it's what sustains their family. So you have to have patience and you have to build that trust over time, not on social media. I mean, social media is great, but that's why I like your forum right now. I can look in your eyes and see you guys are, we've talked, so we're building a relationship, but it's not on LinkedIn and that type of stuff. You actually need to have patience and then understand that it's going to be like a roller coaster ride. And there's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be times you're in a slump and you're going, what the hell happened? Mm-hmm. And 2 months later, you won't even be able to catch your breath.
All right. Well, that was great advice, Greg. Thank you very, very much. You've been a great guest. I mean, I feel like that the way that you're putting yourself forward and the work that your business is doing, you're a credit to your industry and to all of us who are out there doing the type of work that we're doing, trying to help older consumers. So I congratulate you for that, and I thank you for that. You've given us some really great things to think about today. And before we get out of here, before Aaron wraps it up, why don't you tell us how people can get in contact with you?
Yeah. Okay. My phone number is the easiest way. It's 484-994-2826. I'm only licensed in 3 states, but I'll help folks with any other referrals for other professionals that I know, like, and trust. And then the website is reverseworkshops.com, because most of the time I'm doing workshops as opposed to doing one-offs. Mm-hmm. So those are the best ways.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, and I could just say to anybody who's 48 or younger, did you notice, folks, that Greg actually led with the phone number? Not info at, not some arm's length land in my spam box, right? That's how you build relationships, you guys. You get on the phone, you get this FaceTime. That's where trust and rapport happens. So, Greg, thanks again for being here. Everybody, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Booming Your Bottom Line Owners Chat. I hope you're leaving here with some new information you can use in your business and a little inspiration to do so. So thanks for listening. Don't forget to go to BYBLlive.com network book to get your copy of our new book, Profitable Professional Networking. It's easy. It's an ebook to download. Until next time, be well, be bold, and boom your bottom line.